Hi, I'm Adam,
I'm Zoe,
and
and we
we
are,
are bipolar bears.
yes.
Almost next time. Um, so
Let's
hey
go.
Zoe, how's it going? It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, we took a little break, it's actually my fault.
We tried. I missed the one. That was totally my fault. Then a couple weeks went by.
No,
But
that's okay.
the theme of the
But yeah,
show,
things are good.
things are good. That's good.
Yeah, life
Um,
gets busy sometimes.
Life does get busy. I am at a not busy point in my life, but I just found a new radio station that I'm excited about.
Oh,
BBC
what's
Radio
that?
4, and it's all like philosophical talks and historical
Oh, that's
talks.
cool.
So
That's awesome.
I'm listening to
Is
that.
that online or is can you
I
listen to it in the car? Is it?
I just listened to it on my device here.
Ah,
I
cool.
just Googled philosophical radio because I'd
I'll
been
check it
listening.
out. I
It's
can
pretty,
probably access it too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome.
So the theme of this show is simple. It's me and you, Zoe, talking about our experiences with bipolar disorder. Let's start out with the check-in. My mood is like no wind. It's very calm. I feel content because I've been kind of telling myself I have all I need. Like I
Hmm.
have all I need, and it it was inspired by this guy Eckhart Tolle who
Ah,
wrote
I love
wrote that.
him.
Yeah, he's kind of funny. He's just this little old man who kind of like chuckles at the smallest little things.
I know, he's German.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and yeah, I read two of his books, The
Oh,
Power of Now and the other one, A New Earth.
right on.
Yeah, it's
I've
really
just
good.
been watching clips of his on YouTube, and
Oh yeah.
I just like the idea of like being right here right now,
Yeah.
and kind of he said something about listening to the smaller sounds, and I like that
Oh,
because sometimes in the in between times, in between like doing a podcast or going out
yeah.
on a date or whatever, it
Yeah.
can get kind of quiet, but like
Yeah.
training the mind to look for those small sounds and kind of like find comfort in them is
Yeah.
interesting.
No, for sure. I mean, I love him. I love like he says a lot of great stuff. However, I do have to say, when I read his book, it felt so German. It felt so like, this is how you do it. I felt like it was not very, I don't know. It was a good book, definitely a really helpful book, also to me, a great book, but I felt like it was a bit too intense for me.
Yeah,
A
I
bit
think
too like, this is the way.
I see.
Yeah. But it's a
Yeah,
great,
I haven't read his book, so I actually thought about buying it. I also want to buy the Quran just to see what that's about.
oh,
I've been reading the Bible. It's just so
oh.
interesting, these texts that have been passed on for centuries
You
that
know what I really love? The
Mhm.
Bhagavad Gita, which is like I believe Hindu.
I
I hope
actually
it's
had one
Hindu.
of
Hindu
those
scripture.
at some point in time because I was given it like as a
Yeah.
for free. They give them away just like the Bible.
I love the Bhagavad Gita. It's so good.
Yeah,
Great life lessons in there.
nice. Yeah,
So you should
there's
read
so
that
much
too.
good stuff out there
Yeah.
to dive
I,
into.
I love that you're reading about these different religions and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into the Quran yet, but I did.
Yeah.
I've made it a couple hundred pages into the Bible, and
Hmm.
my takeaway is just it's pretty fascinating that um, I these written texts were saved, and like
Yeah.
passed on. It shows a
Yeah.
dedication that's kind of inspiring, um,
Yeah.
even though the books are, they're obviously from a different time. Um,
Yeah.
but it's still pretty fascinating to read. And sometimes I try to stop myself if I'm reading and then my mind goes other places. Like I'll try to
Yeah.
stop reading because that happens.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I get that. Yeah. I find it quite challenging to read these kind of things.
yeah, they
I
can be
don't know if I
pretty.
could do it, to be honest.
I'm doing it because so many of the people on the planet, you know,
Yeah.
they are about this book. And so I
Yeah, for
figure
sure.
like I should just know. Like I should,
Yeah.
and I
No, I
have the
think that's
time.
great. Even if you don't read it entirely, just like at least getting to know more about it and the religion itself, etc. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Do you have a mood weather report today or
Oh,
just a
yeah, right.
general mood?
Back to the podcast. Um, it's been really cloudy with a few sun rays the
Nice.
last couple days or weeks. So it's been more challenging, but I've also had a couple of really sunny days.
That's good. What's going on the cloudy days?
I think just like I really struggle with my depression, feeling isolated. I find like that's like weird or also cliche to say, but I often find myself really overwhelmed by being on this planet. Like I feel like I just exist and um I work towards my like living out my purpose, but it's still a long road ahead. And I think that's also sometimes frustrating me. And yeah, and I spoke to my psychiatrist because I'm still not where I want to be. And now I'm being put on antidepressants on top of my bipolar medication, which I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah, they have
So
specific antidepressants that they can give with bipolar medications.
yeah,
They're
so
not.
yeah, she said she's a bit worried then that I will get into a manic state because the antidepressants she's giving me are very making you feel very energized.
Mhm.
So I need to watch out for that apparently, but I'm looking forward to it because I just want to heal and get better. And if that's the way to start the journey, then yeah.
That's good. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get in touch with this psychiatrist and kind of tell
Yeah,
them what you're going
for
through
sure.
because we need we need a healthy, happy Zoe.
Yeah, no, I just didn't know that was a thing. Like I was quite surprised.
When you say your purpose, to me that feels very biblical. Like it does. It's like I want to I get it at the same time I don't because I what like your purpose, what is your purpose? What do you need to live out?
I think that's quite a challenge. I feel like if you're truly living your purpose, like something that you feel passionate about and something that you feel inspired by, if you're able to carry that out into the world, then you feel quite content with it yourself. Like I feel like you're not as like worried, you're not as negative. I feel like I struggle a lot because I know I have to work, I have to do this, I have to do that, all these rules. And I feel like if I could just do music or if I could make a living of music, um, I'd feel so, or just do anything like more creative, I'd feel so
Mhm.
much happier within myself. And not being there yet um, makes me feel really bad sometimes because I'm like 26 and I'm like putting pressure on myself and I'm like,
Mm. Well,
yeah,
you
and if
got
it wasn't for my mental state, sorry, then
oh no, you're fine.
I think I'd be much further already.
Well, you've got so much time ahead of
I
you
know.
and I know it can be like finding I think maybe challenged for you is finding your purpose in the quieter moments and
Yeah.
having it be okay that it's not out there. Like it's
Yeah.
just inside. Like you're just
Yeah.
having music in your day. Like you don't even need to be playing music, you know?
Yeah.
You could just be living music and that could be your purpose.
Totally. Totally. It's those little moments. I think I'm just quite an intense person. It's either all the way or I suck.
You don't
Like
suck.
that's kind of
You
like
don't suck.
no, but you know what I mean? I'm kind of like one
I can
extreme or the other.
yeah, Tabby is that way too sometimes. She's like, hot or cold, but I think that that kind of is that must be a hard way to live.
Yeah.
Um
Not the way to happiness, that's for sure.
but you're gonna get where you want to go as long as you keep chipping away at it. And
Yeah.
I think it was funny because Eckhart and I was listening to Eckhart Tolle, he was saying like, you know, some people live for the future, like, oh, like when am I gonna get there? when when like you're here right now and what you're doing.
Exactly.
But here, let me do the quick disclaimer. Before we dive in, we are not medical professionals, and none of what we say should be taken as medical advice. Um, Moving into the content uh of our podcast. In the past, it was like 4 weeks ago, we wanted to talk about when awareness comes after an episode. So like you were depressed, and then all of a sudden you're aware of your depression, and
Mm-hmm.
how and what you do to kind of calm yourself in a sustainable way, and get yourself back into um, a balanced state. And and we also wanted to talk about how we tell our friends and how we explain this to our friends.
Mm.
um do you have any thoughts off the top of your head about coming out and coming into back into awareness?
Um, that's a tricky one.
Do you feel
Um, yeah, go ahead.
so when was your last depressive episode?
That's actually, I'd say it's right now, to be honest. I
Mm,
felt quite good and now I'm like going downhill again, but because of my medication, I feel like I can handle it better.
nice.
Um, but to me, it's always kind of overwhelming. I don't really understand it. I'm like, why? And that's really frustrating to me. And then I try to look for answers, but what I should do is just accept it for what it is. And then what I do is I hold on to things that I know will help me. So, and I just religiously do these things. Like I still hit the gym. I don't feel like it at all. I once I'm there, I'm like, shit, now I really have to do this. And but I just push myself. It's those little things. And then I cook nice food and I eat super healthily. Like even if my mental state isn't there or isn't the way it used to be a couple weeks prior or whatever, I really stick to my routine. And I think I've mentioned this many times on here.
What's the hardest
Oh,
part of your day? Like mornings, afternoons,
nights,
evenings, night times?
evenings. Yeah, sometimes mornings when I'm exhausted from the evening. For instance, when I had a really rough evening, I wake up in the morning and I have a good cry and then I start my day. But then I could like by noon, I could be like in the bathroom singing while hair drying my hair. It's like so psychotic. But it's like, yeah, sometimes be like that. You just, yeah.
So night times, what is it that do you think, is it the sun going down? Is it just the quiet of the evenings, or
I'm not sure. I haven't quite identified what it is. I think I definitely start overthinking at night, but it's not like I don't have these thoughts during the day. It's just at nighttime, I feel it's more like an energetic shift because I'm not distracted. I feel like my feelings of isolation, etc., catch up with me at night. It's that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I can see, to me it's in the mornings,
Yeah. Okay.
mainly because right now I'm not working and I kind of want to be doing something
Yeah, for sure.
with people.
Yeah.
And I like interactions with people. um I like having something to do. And when I'm in my day, I fill my time with journaling,
Hmm.
with reading, listening to the radio. I think for me, when I'm coming out of an episode or kind of coming back into awareness, it's all
Hmm.
about building balance. It's not about finding it. It's about
Hmm.
like doing, like you said, kind of getting to the gym, um, writing, and
Hmm.
it's like self driven creation of balance. And
Hmm.
that way it kind of gives me this sense of purpose, like I did that, you know.
Yeah.
And I will have to say there's an aspect to it of a God. Like when I can't control something, I'll make a note of it
Mm.
and kind of give it up to God and let it be.
I like that you just put it out in the universe.
I have a journal that's only for talking to God,
Oh, I
and
love that.
um it's I don't if I ask for something, I don't anticipate getting it. Like it's not
Yeah.
like I'm like
You
you
don't
give
get
me.
too attached to it.
Yeah, I just say this is what I'm thinking about, this is what I want. If it
Yeah.
happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's nice because then I don't ruminate on it.
Yeah.
I've already done all I can, which is
That's
kind of
actually
tight.
really good. That's good advice. And
Yeah.
how come it's for you, it's the mornings that are tough? Like, what do you think you open your eyes, and what is it, the overthinking about it, or is it just a feeling of not having a routine as such, like a
Part of
routine
my
like
ru-
going to work
Part of my
and
routine has been like snoozing the alarm, which I actually just wrote down in my journal that I'd really like, or like my prayer journal, that I'd really like to wake up to my alarm,
yeah,
take a cold shower, and get
yeah,
started with my day.
yeah,
Like for me, it's like I don't have to get up,
yeah,
but I want to have to get up. Like I want to get up. And so when I slowly come like awake, I'm very tired. I'll get awake, but it's usually like later. It's always kind of like a regret feeling. Why didn't I get up to my alarm?
yeah.
And
That's okay. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
to me, my discipline is saving my ass. It's like my discipline is keeping me sane for sure. And what helps me, because you mentioned like you struggle getting out of bed. Um, First of all, if you do it a couple times, if you do it long enough, it becomes routine. You just get out there. And I know it's tougher, especially when it's like raining outside, etc. But what helps me is making my bed right away. And that makes me feel good because I feel like I've got my shit together,
You do.
made my bed.
You did it.
And it's such a simple thing, but I religiously do it.
I make
And
my
it's those
bed,
little things that really,
but
that's so good.
it's like after snoozing my alarm for 2 hours.
Yeah. No, it's
Oh
tough.
man.
I mean, I totally get that. I'm so scared of like, my depression that I force myself to get up. I stick so religiously to the things that I know work for me because I'm so scared of feeling the way I feel in the evenings. And that's
Is
why my motivation comes from.
is there something that you do or can do in the evenings that's like making your bed? For example, like making a cup of tea and pulling your covers open before you something like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I still struggle with that quite a bit, but what I do is like social media and being on my phone
Mm-hmm.
results in a lot more negative, not because I see something I don't want to see or because I compare myself, but just that because it's so like it's not really giving you anything staring at your phone. It's not really making you feel great. It's just like it makes no sense to just scroll. You don't learn, mostly don't learn anything, etc. So not being on my phone, I think, is a big one.
I have a really good book that you could read if you like reading
What's
at
that?
night. It's called, I have it in the basement. It's called Wherever You Go, There You Are, I think it's called.
Oh,
And it's
that sounds like
by
a really nice
like
title.
A Western psychiatrist, and he writes
Yeah.
it in a mindful way, and he kind of
Oh, I
adds
love
in
that.
some psychiatry. It's really good.
Yeah.
Maybe I can
No, for
send
sure.
it to
Maybe
you.
you can show us next time.
Yeah, I should pick it up again. That's one of the only mindfulness like books that I've really resonated with. It's
Oh,
that
that's awesome.
John
Yeah.
Kabat-Zinn is his name.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like, yeah, just not being on my phone helps. But then usually I can't really control it. The emotions just overwhelm me, and um Like I want to be super transparent and real on here, and I feel like if I'm just like, yeah, I do this and then it's fixed, that's just not the truth.
Yeah. So, but it works in the morning, right? The
Yeah.
bed making works,
Yeah.
but but you don't have anything like that in the evening yet.
No, the evening I don't like going to sleep. I don't know what it is. I haven't quite figured out what the issue actually is. I haven't gotten to the core of it, but there's something about evenings and about going to sleep that I don't like.
Well, I hope that you get good sleep tonight.
No, I will. I do sleep very deep and good once I'm asleep. Yeah, no, for sure.
Well, do you want to talk about talking to friends about our, like diagnosis and what that feels like?
Mm. So maybe you start because I feel like you've got more experience with this.
Um, I think that when I don't tell everybody that I meet, right? So when it comes to talking with friends, they all know at this point. And so
Mm.
I think one of the things that has helped me when it comes to talking is not being ashamed.
Yeah,
Like presenting it with like, hey, I got this diagnosis, I'm dealing with this and I'm working through it. Just kind of
yeah,
with confidence and owning it has
yeah, for
helped.
sure.
Um I think early on I struggled a little bit with like telling new people because I felt ashamed, but it's not something that I'm in control of. It's kind of like something that goes in my prayer journal. You know,
Yeah,
I can work towards balance, but that's just going to be a part of my life. And I think everybody has something like that in life, and we just have it diagnosed in this general cluster called bipolar.
yeah,
Your bipolar is way different than my bipolar,
yeah,
and like but we can share some commonalities.
yeah,
And so for someone who doesn't deal with mental health, if they might not understand,
yeah, for sure.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
just owning it and being confident.
yeah, I feel like you're not obligated to tell everyone. And I feel like I also don't want to, I'm not running around with a sticker on my forehead like I'm mentally ill, you know? Like I feel like I don't have to tell everyone. I don't see the need in it. Like I'm still a person, I'm still Zoe. Like just because I have these issues, I don't really like I feel like when it comes to close relationships, that's a different story. Your family should know, really close friends should know, just because they know what to look out for when you don't even see these things yourself. Like for instance, when you're manic or just like a support
uh
system.
I found this thing through a group called the RAP Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like 60 pages of material, and it gives like a step-by-step plan
Yeah.
of what it looks like when you're manic, things that can help. And
Yeah.
I've filled out most of it, but I can
Okay.
send you a link later.
That'd be great. Yeah. No, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, just to quickly add on,
yeah.
or what do you want to say?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I haven't told anyone pretty much except for my family because it's so recent that I've been diagnosed with it. Also, with my depression and anxiety, I've always kind of lived with it. Like I was always like, Zoe, get your shit together, like very German. And so it's only now that I'm learning to, okay, I don't have to live like this. But also I've isolated myself so much that I don't really have even people to tell. But I feel like if I was to start dating again, I won't be on a first date and be like, by the way, like I feel like once you get to know the person and feel like
Yeah.
you're getting closer, then I feel like they should know to give them a chance to decide whether they are ready and healed enough to potentially deal with the effects of it
Yeah.
or
I
symptoms
mean,
of it.
you know how it can impact people via your sister. Like it's
Yeah.
not easy when
Yeah. So I feel like you should
Um,
give people the chance to decide if they can handle it.
yep. One thing that you said that it made me think of um, was the term mental illness. And like, I think that we can have mental wellness while being diagnosed with a mental illness. Like, it
Yeah,
just because we've been diagnosed doesn't mean that for like starting here and now for the rest of your life, you could figure out
exactly.
way to be stable.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a starting point because we do share these symptoms, but
Yeah.
um so I like your take on how, how to tell friends. I see it's kind of strange because I like talking about mental illness and wellness, and in a way like very publicly sharing, we're on the internet.
Mm.
But when it comes to like random encounters, I'm not going to be like, "Hey, I'm Adam. I have bipolar disorder." It's not
Yeah.
something that I typically identify with that much day to day. It's more of a reminder, like, "Hey, stay on course," because
Yeah.
you know where it can go if you don't.
Yeah. No, for sure. I agree.
Okay, so super important. What is your favorite childhood candy, and or what cake do you get for your birthday?
For my birthday, I get carrot cake. I'm
Ooh,
obsessed with carrot cake. I
so
love
good.
it. And then my favorite candy as a kid, I think it's like just like Kinder chocolate,
That's very
like
German.
German. That's so
They're
German.
so good though. Kinder chocolate. They've even made it out here. You can buy Kinder chocolate here
Yeah.
too. Hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I've never really been too much of a candy person. Although chocolate quite a bit, but I'm more like, okay, that sounds so weird, but I'm more like a person that like buys like a cake mix or brownie mix and I eat the dough. No, I will dead
You're
ass
hardcore.
brownie mix and just eat the dough. And
Nice.
it's the best. And then I probably feel sick, but for like, I try to be disciplined about it, but yeah.
You're like, I need that dough.
I
I need
used
the
to
dough.
always do that. I'd sometimes just make dough in the kitchen secretly and just eat it. Like for real.
This is a confession hour now.
But yeah. What about you? Penny.
I always got red velvet, which is just basically just like
Oh,
chocolate cake
yeah.
with this icing that was like a cream cheese base. It was delicious.
Yeah.
But I actually
Isn't there
think I'm
also
gonna switch
cherry in there?
it. I don't know what makes
Like
it
red,
red.
no? Or
Yeah,
is it just like the coloring,
I think
the
it's
food?
just the coloring.
Yeah. Okay.
My mom would always make it for me, but
Yeah. That's
now
really
I'm gonna
good.
switch to carrot cake because I do love carrot cake. Carrot cake's my favorite cake. I don't know. I just did red velvet
For
because
real?
yeah, I'm
Same.
not a big cake person, but carrot cake is so good.
Oh, there's this amazing cake place in Berlin. If you guys ever come to Berlin, it's like there's only grannies in there, but it's the best cake. It's
Oh my
so good.
gosh, Granny's,
Best carrot
that
cake.
means it's a good spot.
It's so good. It's like kind of weird, but super nice inside, as in like you feel like you're in some old museum vibe. I don't know. I can't even explain it, but it's like tiny and only grannies work there, and it's
That's awesome.
amazing.
They've kneaded a lot of dough and made a lot of cake batter in their day.
Yeah.
They know how it's
No,
done.
everything is amazing. Yeah.
Um, we're running out of time. We have 10 minutes left. But my favorite candy was Nerds Rope, and which
Oh,
those? It's like
mm-hmm.
this gummy with like nerds on it. I just saw a
Yeah,
commercial that they have these little
love it.
nerd nuggets. So they have like a gooey ball with nerds on their wraps. You
Oh,
can pop them in. So I
that's
gotta find
amazing.
those.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that.
Okay, coping skills are things we do to feel better and mitigate symptoms of what's ailing us. And how have you been coping in those times where you need to fill your time with good stuff?
Mm.
Piano, sleep, guitar, journaling,
Yeah,
meditating.
I mean, yeah, I've touched on this quite a few times, like just little things. Like I said earlier, making my bed, practicing piano. It's like, honestly, every time I go to piano class, I like, even earlier, I said to my mom, "Oh, I'm off to therapy now." And I'm like, "No, it's piano class." Like,
But
to
it's
me, it's like
therapy to you.
therapy. It makes me feel so good.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And being
Um,
productive. Yeah.
do you have any quotes that you wanted to share today?
No quotes today.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
Shared a
I should.
bunch last time.
I'll bring my quotes next time
For sure.
from that book I recommended.
But is there something you've added to your list of stuff that helps you cope?
Um, I think I think just writing this thought that shared at the beginning is like kind of more of like statements like I feel I am whole right now and need nothing more.
Mm,
And kind of like affirmations. So
mm,
I started writing more affirmations throughout the day.
mm.
And other than that, just the standard journaling and
That's
writing in my
good.
prayer journal,
Yeah. No, I
um,
love that.
reading.
Yeah.
I dropped my resume off at a bookstore. They're not hiring
Okay.
right now, but they're gonna keep it in
Cool.
case.
Yeah.
It's like
No,
down
that's good.
10-minute bike from here, so
Perfect.
would be
Yeah.
nice. Just being patient with myself.
Yeah.
Um, gonna get a job eventually. I just want a
Mm.
part-time Monday through Friday job and
Yeah, me too. I don't have a job right now.
have you applied anywhere?
No.
That's okay. It can
Well,
be hard to
that's,
get started.
I mean, there's this one job that I've been waiting to hear back from, which I would get through my uncle,
Hmm.
which is a really nice job in voiceover dubbing,
Cool.
which I really like, but they're like only just building the firm right now. So I might have to do something else before I can start there because I'm running out of money.
Yeah. Well, I hope that that plays out for you.
Yeah,
And
no,
in the
thanks.
meantime, if you need another job, I hope you get something that's not
Yeah, something
terrible.
chill. I also want something chill because I've got a crazy dachshund.
Yeah, you gotta.
Uh,
That's right. How is he?
he's insane. He's much better. Oh,
That's
obviously that really threw me off, that whole thing with him. Like that
almost
was a
dying. It's really a
yeah.
miracle he's alive.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. For context, like my vet fucked up and then he had to get emergency surgery at like another clinic and whatever. But yeah, he's made it. He's well. He's been treated like a king, so now he's like out of control. Yeah, he's got these cute puppy eyes, but he's like the devil.
He is. He's a sweetie.
Yeah,
Um,
naughty.
do you have so I know you were telling me you're going through a mode
Mm,
right in this moment.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it, I know.
It's it would be, and this might be, I've asked a couple times what advice you would give your past self as you're going through it. Might be not the right time to ask that, but
The thing is, I don't know. I don't have the answers. I'm still learning so much about myself as I'm going through these waves of emotions. But I say this so often, but I really mean it. Like my routine and discipline that I religiously stick to helps.
okay.
I feel like I also need to, but I feel like I'm low-key running away from everything by doing that. So I feel like I need to sit with myself more.
Well, I hope you get some time tonight to sit with yourself and kind of,
Thank you.
instead of the the existential woe.
Yeah,
I hope you get some time to sit with yourself and really
yeah,
feel comfortable because you're awesome, Zoe.
thank you. So do you feel stable right now? Like, do you feel like high, low?
Yeah,
I know we're out of
I
time,
feel
but
stable. Like I think the thing about it is like I can sense small shifts
yeah,
now that I've been kind of healthy, and the small shifts can I can see how I could conflate them to being like this big thing. But if I just sit and let them go, like I'm like, oh wow, that was so if this is where I want to be, I might just go right here. But
yeah,
it might feel like it's way worse in the moment. But then
yeah,
and then I go down here and then I come back. And then I'm like,
okay,
wow, it could have been like,
yeah.
but
So
it
you
wasn't.
can kind of handle it better.
Yeah, by feeling the smaller shifts and
Yeah,
recognize them as smaller, because usually I think what happens is a bunch of smaller shifts take you
yeah,
further and further away from balance. So if you
yeah,
can just recognize the small shift and be
yeah.
like, oh,
That's so
back down to
good.
balance.
Yeah, that's a nice way to think about it. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. I'm glad that works for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, wrapping up, is there something you're looking forward to this next week?
Um, Next week is gonna be tough. My mom is leaving back to South Africa. So I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to spending time with Rufus, playing the piano, sorting out stuff. Um, yeah, just like it's the
Living
little things
life.
as you said.
Heck yeah.
What about you?
Um, I'm looking forward to finding another place to apply to and
Mm,
just doing
yeah,
it, going showing my face and
step by
hey,
step. Yeah. No, that's good. No, I love that. Well, thank you very much.
yeah, Zoe, until next
I'm glad we
time.
did this. Yeah.
Yes.
Next
All
time
right,
we're back at like on Tuesday or Thursday, whatever.
all right, Zoe, I love you lots.
Love you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.